questions, of which we have limited time, and each candidate, I'm going to start them off really easy, all right? So we get them rolling. You got to get them warmed up here first. It says, are you a reader? And if so, what do you read? Jan, we'll start with you, please.
I am a reader, but I'll tell you what, after being at the as a state representative, I haven't read much other than issue items. I read Government Magazine. I read the American Legislative Exchange Council magazine. I read a lot of publications, and I read all of the bills.
I am a reader. I have enjoyed recreational reading all my life. My most recent focus in reading has been fairly predictable. I've read various political treatises. The Political Brain is one that comes to mind. Don't Think of an Elephant is another. And a number of sort of step-by-step, do-it-yourself, how to run a campaign books of late. So fairly predictable reading. More recently, in the my earlier days prior to declaring my candidacy, I like to read a good deal of fiction, and I like to read occasional works of fiction, of history.
All right, very good. Now, next one is, this one's kind of a little bit tricky, but it says, name one major issue where you differ from or oppose your party. So this one starts off with Sumner. Name one major issue where you differ from or oppose your party.
I'm not completely clear how my party comes down on everything. I feel as though the focus of my work in the legislature and the job that I step up to do is not a responsibility to my party, but a responsibility to the citizens of the 26th legislative district. I will just tell you that where those are in conflict, I will decide from the standpoint of what is in the best interest of the 26th legislative district and our citizens first. A point of possible conflict is the issue of taxation. I feel firmly that we must not move to taxation first, that we must try every other point of access to make the best of the programs and services that we have today, to cut the inefficiencies out, and to get us back to a balanced budget.
Yeah.
For me, after being now through 2 sessions and sitting in a caucus room where we spent a lot of time, because we sat there sometimes for hours and hours before we were called to the floor. But when I was your county commissioner and now as your state representative, there will be no party that will ever tell me how I have to vote or how I should vote. And I must say that every time we left our caucus and we got ready to go to the floor, the comment was made, vote your conscience, vote your district. Every single district is different. Every single district has different needs. Western Washington versus Eastern Washington. So, and I honestly believe that my opinion doesn't enter in here, because when you take an issue, a lot of times when I come and talk to a lot of you, I've asked for straw poll votes. How do you feel on an issue? Once I've studied the issue, the pros and cons, and I've gotten your input from my citizenship, then that's how I can go back and craft a decision on how I actually vote.
Thank you. Now, a real specific question. This is a question about the brokered natural gas use tax. Okay, City of Bremerton has lost $700,000 a year due to the court ruling stating industrial customers can avoid paying the tax. How will you help restore this general fund revenue source? We'll start off lessons. Summer start lessons. Jen, please.
I remember that bill coming through, and I remember the discussions about it, and I think the key comment is it was a court ruling. So what I would have to do is go back and take a look at what did the court rule, why did they rule the way they did, and then see if there's options there that could benefit the city accordingly. But when a court rules, the goal there is that they're following the law, and so that's what I would have to do, is to see what area of the law they had a problem with and how that affected that certain bill.
Well, I have to declare absolute ignorance on this point, and I'm not afraid to do so. I heard from the question writer coming in, but I have no good information about this. I also would go to any court law that or decision that had been a product of this law. Personally, I feel as though if our municipal governments are losing revenue as a result of a tax break, that there better be a darn good reason that there's an exemption for that tax break. And in my opinion, if we can get a hold of some of that money and bring it back into our local governments, we should absolutely do so.